Like, dude, fuck, this is a crazy story. I don't even know if I should put it on the
You ever like take like a fat bitch home or something? Like,
No, I've never taken a fat girl.
Nothing but dimes.
You're lying. Dude.
Nothing but dimes. Bro.
You're lying.
Yeah, bro. You've taken a fat girl home before.
Never, dude. Like,
So you never been on some drunk shit and just ate some pussy? You know?
Fuck no. Just not for me, you know?
I mean, I don't eat pussy. I'm just saying.
Dude, don't lie, bro. I feel like you love eating pussy.
I mean, no, like my baby mama, I'll eat her pussy, you know, but I don't, just some random girl, no, I don't know.
Yeah, see, I can't do it.
But what I'm saying is, you know, there's been times when when I used to drink and I would be really drunk and, you know, you get excited.
You get a little crazy.
You get a little crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
for sure.
I get it.
Well, alright. Battle raps, cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Welcome back to another episode of the Party with Strategy podcast. Two very special guests here. Got my boy David Play in the building.
What up?
Nick Benson, CEO Promotions.
What up?
And I'm excited, man. It's been a long time coming. I feel like we need to talk about some things.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We getting crazy or
I
what?
think we are,
I feel like this is going to be
This is gonna
probably...
be interesting, yeah.
I feel like I'm not trying to overhype it, but I think this is going to be the craziest episode yet.
Yeah.
You think so?
I feel like it is, because I know you're good at bringing it out.
What's the craziest episode you had so far? You would think.
We had two girls who worked for All Access on here who just had diarrhea of the mouth, who could not stop themselves from talking about insane things. Just you know, they were, if the episode would have came out, there would have been a Chicago version of the Diddy scandal.
100%. I've heard some crazy things.
So we couldn't put the episode out, but it was ridiculous, bro.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if we could top that, but
Yeah, no, dude. I feel like we'll be able to top that, and the episode will actually be able to be released. So it'll be like it'll be a lot better.
yeah, we'll keep it PG-13, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
we'll keep it like rated R-ish.
we'll see where it goes. I'm not like trying to, you know, get anyone in trouble or do anything crazy, but really, I don't know you guys well outside of the nightclub. So we got to get to know you a little bit, see what's good. I mean, you came in here talking about dealerships and printing vinyl. I thought you were just the owner of CEO Promotions. What else we got going on?
Oh, we do a lot. I actually own a company called Ivy Financial Group. I have a wrap shop and body shop. So like we fix and sell cars, small dealership. I actually breed Frenchies too, if you ever need a dog.
See, now you had me before you said that. Now I just think you're a drug dealer.
The
Because
Frenchies.
anyone who sells Frenchies is just a drug dealer.
Well, look, I can't confirm or deny any of the allegations, but the money came from somewhere. And then, you know, it helped me start a lot of businesses. The thing is, I did start breeding Frenchies when I lived in Cali, so there was a lot of stuff we can't speak on going on out there, you know?
I'm sure. You know, you got to get into the game somehow.
100%.
How much are the Frenchies? Like, what's the range?
Well, dude, the reason why when I first started doing it, I was selling Frenchies like $25,000 a piece, like hotcakes.
25K or 2,500?
No, 25K. Dude, 25,000 like
What kind of
hotcakes.
Frenchie?
Like fluffy Frenchies. Bro, the market's been so crazy. Like, there's still people out there selling dogs for 100K plus. You know what I mean? And when I started breeding dogs, I was just like young, ignorant, and had a ton of money. So I was like, I'm going to go buy the best dogs money can buy, and I'm going to just kill it.
So what are you doing in these nightclubs for fucking...
Well, basically, I'm a degenerate. So that sums it about up. I mean, David's seen some of it. You know, I like to get fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, I like a man that owns it.
yeah, dude, what am I going to sit here and be like, hey, no, everybody's seen it.
At least you're honest, you know?
Yeah, dude. And I've toned it down a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we're growing up here.
Nice. How old are you?
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tight. And then you are not only the head honcho at Underground and breathed life back into that building, but you
Appreciate
also book artists. You do bookings, right? What
Yeah,
would
so I have
be
my
the
own talent
official-
agency, so I book artists all over the world.
Talent buying is what it is,
Yeah,
right?
so, you know, basically I'm the middleman between, you know, an artist or influencer, celebrity, DJ, and a buyer at a venue or just any type of event, you know?
Yeah.
And I pretty much just broker the deal and get it going. So I actually started doing that before I was doing clubs. Trey Songz at the time was a really good friend of mine, and at his heyday when the Trigger album came out, I was around all these celebrities and got all these contacts, and kind of helped me bridge the gap between them and, you know, nightclubs and stuff like that. So
Yeah, there was like, I feel like there was a like a heyday for artists doing appearances in the clubs. Like it sort of caught fire in like what, 2017 or something,
15,
around then.
17. Like Cuvée played a big part. I don't know if you guys know, familiar with Cuvée, but
Did you ever go there?
That might be a little
It's before your time.
Yeah.
You were breeding Frenchies while he was at Cuvée.
yeah, probably.
yeah. So before COVID, we were pretty much the hit spot, and we were doing every artist you could think of. We did Travis Scott, Drake, DJ Khaled, G-Eazy, Meek Mill. Who else?
I played there when Lil Uzi was there.
Lil Uzi, Lala Weekend.
Yeah. And he was, I forgot who told me, but someone was like, don't play any Russ, bro. You better not play any Russ. They were like beefing or something.
They're
Really?
into it.
Yeah, something like that.
You didn't play no Russ, did you?
I didn't.
Okay,
No.
good.
Should have just mixed a little.
Yeah, that was a terrible party, by the way. He was terrible. He was in the corner the whole time. You couldn't even see him. It was just a bad experience. But yeah, Lil Uzi, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, you name it, we did it. So.
Yeah. So, all right, take me through how you got into promoting. How did this happen?
So I was actually just going out a lot, and I was just like spending a ton of money like an irresponsible degenerate.
Yeah,
And,
you got these other businesses going. You got money in your pocket. You're going out.
Yeah, and I bump into Mike Jabber, and he's like, dude, you're always here, like you're always with like a ton of girls. He's like, why don't you do this and make money? And at the time, I was just being arrogant. I was like, I don't need that little chump change. Like I'm gonna just keep doing my thing. And then like, you know, like sober thoughts prevailed, and I was like, you know, why don't I have fun? You know, make money doing this, get bottles cheaper, you know, and just maybe make a business out of it. I'm an entrepreneur. Let's see what we could do. And then I did, and it actually kind of just took off really quickly, like much faster than I expected. We got to the point where we were doing really well. I was actually making a pretty good amount of money off doing it. And, you know, when you think like the amount of money that I've made and like, you know, the short amount of time I've been doing it, think like I got paid to party this much and have that much fun. So I was just like, well, can't say no to that.
Yeah. So have you ever thought of doing your own party? Like, because I see most of the promo companies, you guys bounce around, you know, a nightclub will be like, hey, come over here, do this. We're throwing this party on Wednesday night or whatever it is. And you go there and you're there. You got all your girls, you got your promoters, this and that. Get the bottles, and then it's kind of like on to the next, whatever is the next popping spot. The promo companies kind of bounce around, right? There's only a select few that really like stay at one venue and throw one party and brand it and are weekly and like work on building in this one room.
Yeah, like Eric Boss, he's really good at that.
Yes.
The reason why I don't do that is because, you know, people get tired of doing the same thing. And I've watched really good parties have super great momentum, and then like they just kind of lose it. And then, you know, you're sticking to the same day, the same theme. It's just I would rather kind of just move around and, you know, because like, dude, I've taken parts and you know, like I've had rings with like Jabber on Monday, like Paulie on Wednesday. Like we've all like gone in on like, you know, doing parties together. And I mean, yeah, like you there's opportunities to make a ton of money doing it, but it's just so much more work, you know, and I can make just as good of money bouncing around, and I don't have that responsibility over my head that, hey, if we don't do X amount of sales, we're not going to make shit. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, you know, I'm more comfortable doing what I'm doing. My staff is all a bunch of degenerates too, so trying to get them to do their jobs consistently, just like it's like being a father to like 15 annoying little kids, you know, love them all, but you know, they're just very irresponsible, often get too drunk one night, don't show up the next, you know, and me being busy doing all the other things that I'm doing, I can't just be like, hey, I'm going to devote all my time to focusing on being in the nightlife. It just wouldn't make sense for me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
So, and then how did you come to start running underground? Because I left in 2020. When did Cuvée close? I feel like they closed before that, right? Or was it around COVID time?
Yeah, so COVID, everything shut down. I think the city opened up a little bit. We had like restrictions, I think till like you could stay open till like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. Remember that?
That's
that time?
insane. I really, truly don't remember it because I left, and also I've repressed the memories of anything like that. How insane was that? They had you fucking wearing masks, and you had the face shields, and you had the separate the booths by the fucking plastic pieces. Like, what
it was
the
crazy.
fuck
Yeah, I wasn't
was
gonna deal
going
with that
on?
shit. I actually left. So I actually, when COVID happened, like a month in, I went to Dallas and Atlanta and started making money doing my thing over there because they were wide open.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like I did like a 50 Cent New Year's Eve party and just started moving around. But I think a month after COVID, something with the building and the owner, they just couldn't see eye to eye and they closed. So then, you know, this owner that owned Cuvée owned Electric Hotel.
Right.
So I was kind of just in limbo, and I could have went back to that hospitality group, but just we weren't seeing eye to eye. And I just wanted to keep my options open. And I always wanted to work for Billy Deck. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
He pretty much,
Of course.
he's pretty famous in the city and owns a bunch of restaurants and
Sunda, one of the best.
Yeah. And just the way he moved, you know, just like he was always on TV, and, you know, the Blackhawks won. He, you know, they partied with him, and all the actors and celebrities want to be around him. So I just wanted to level up. You know, I felt like I was kind of like in a mom and pop type spot, even though we were doing a lot of cool things, like, you know, doing big artists and all that. From
That
like,
probably wouldn't have happened if you weren't there, though. So you could have taken that anywhere, and, you know, ultimately just the connections through Billy would have helped just amplify that.
yeah,
even more.
but sometimes, you know, certain owners don't want to spend the money. The owner I worked for, he did it for the, like, just the look, you know, just he liked it. It was exciting to him. It wasn't for money, because it's kind of hard to make money booking artists.
Especially in Chicago, because like in a club like Miami, like you're allowed to have way more people. The capacity is just way different. So like in Chicago, when you have a $50,000 artist and a 300 people club capacity, the money's just a lot harder to make in Chicago, opposed to Miami, where you could have 2,000 people in a club. You know,
Yeah.
a lot more opportunity to, you know, actually bring in bigger names and make more money.
Yeah. So I lost my train of thought. But anyway, what I was saying was,
How'd you get to Underground?
yeah. So
You went to Atlanta /
yeah, so it
Dallas.
was Atlanta, Houston, you know, all the cities that were open, making money out there.
Yeah.
And then when Chicago started opening back up again, I started having conversations with the venues. But again, Underground was kind of like where I was kind of eyeing, just because, you know, again, I wanted to be a little bit, I wanted to level up. I wanted to be around more of a corporate setting, not mom and pop. And so at the time, Billy had someone else running his venue. I'm not going to say his name, but I was working for that person. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, you know, I'm looking to get into a new venue. Things aren't working out over here. Let's have a conversation. So I met with him, and, you know, we started talking, we vibed, and I actually started working for free for a whole year to get that place going, just to kind of show what I can do, you know?
Really?
Because I knew that once the city opened up again, everyone was going to come out and try to get certain situations, because clubs were closing. Bottle Blonde closed, Cuvée closed,
Concrete Cowboy.
Concrete
Concrete
Cowboy,
Cowboy, Trophy Room, all these places were closing. They couldn't survive. So I knew that the pot of venues would be small, so I had to kind of stand out in that situation.
Yeah.
So worked for free for a whole year. You know, at the time, again, nothing's open. Nobody's trying to work. Everyone's on, you know, PPP loans and the EIDL loans and all that, unemployment. So to get somebody to work was kind of hard. So I kind of put together a great staff, and he saw that. And he pretty much just gave me the keys to the place. But then what happened was, a week before we were going to open, him and Billy got into it, and he left. He quit. He's like, hey, I'm out. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to introduce you to Billy. And if he likes you, then you can work it out with him. So I had to kind of start all over again. So I met with Billy. We hit it off. And the good and bad thing about working with Billy is Billy lives in Nashville. So he can't really be as hands-on in Chicago. So I kind of just took the initiative and owned it. And he saw that, and, you know, he just said, yo, just go ahead and take care of it. And since 3 years ago, I've been running the spot, and we've been blessed. You know, we're open 5 days out the week, and Every night is busy.
It's dope. Yeah, it's cracking. I did that Saturday a couple weeks ago, and I will say, I haven't seen someone spend over $5,000 on bottle service in a long time. It's hard to come by these days.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are doing that, but someone dropped $20K on a table when I was there.
Yeah.
It felt kind of like the old underground a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to say that happens a lot, but I definitely see like a lot more of like the high end client at underground that will spend, hey, like, okay, let me spend 7,500, 10,000, 12,000. I see that kind of more often than I do see at any other club.
You know what it is? I think it's more. They're out there. Sorry.
They're out there. You just need Alpy.
You need Alpy. Yeah. Shout out to Alpy.
Shout out Alpy.
You just gotta. You gotta find them. You gotta go look for. You gotta work. You gotta put the work in. I think a lot of clubs now. I think a lot of clubs are just lazy. Again, I'm not gonna say no names, but
that is indeed 100% the case.
You know, I think the managers and ownership don't want to put the work in anymore. So I think they just hire these promoters, and the promoter does their job, then it's busy. If the promoter doesn't do the job, then it's not.
I don't even think it's really just all promoters, because I had a club owner one time tell me that he outgrew his venue, so he had to bring in, like more managers and, more staff. And then I've noticed, like nobody cares about your shit like you do. So like managers, like they'll do the bare minimum. They just want that check. And they'll burn relationships, burn bridges, and screw shit up all along the way. And then like you'll see managers like get fired from one place and be at another place. It's just like there's a lot of people stepping on toes and just fucking shit up in the city, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, some places. There's a lot of managers that you see literally have worked at every single spot, and it's always kind of blown my mind how one spot will hire him after knowing that he's been at every other spot. But it's also
like, look at Rudy. How is that guy still in Chicago?
I don't know what's going on with
him.
Is he in Chicago?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't talk to him anymore. But yeah, I think he's around. He actually came to Underground like a week and a half ago, I think, trying to get a free bottle.
God.
But I told my staff I'm not here. Shout out to Rudy though.
Yeah, shout out to Rudy. We had big beef back in the day, but we squashed it, so I'm not gonna sit here and shit on him. But he's definitely
he shit on himself, bro.
He's a wild boy.
Yeah, he got to figure it out. He needs to stop drinking, though.
Man, this like I've never even heard some wild shit like the shit that guy gets into.
Yeah, he's a character.
Yeah.
He's a character. There's a lot of characters. You work in this industry long enough, you start seeing, and there's like an archetype almost for maybe like 7 or 8 different types of people, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can kind of always put someone at least pretty close to in that box. You can separate everybody. Oh, this dude, he does this. He's got his shit together. He's doing this. He's on this path. You're going to see him excel. And you see someone else. You're like, I've seen this dude before. He's coming into these clubs. He's spending all this money that he doesn't have. He's doing this. He's doing that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, man, this business can take a toll on you. It could kind of eat you up if you don't, find balance. No Diddy. But
yeah, that's why I go on random breaks. Like you'll see me for like a while, and then I'll just disappear for a few months, and I'll just come back and just like, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you don't seem like you're just kind of doing this for fun, which I respect.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really like trying to prevail as the top promoter in the city. You know what I'm saying? You're just out here kind of collecting a check, having a good time.
He could be though if you really wanted to.
Yeah, when I started doing this,
100%.
When I started doing this, I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna own a club one day. Like that was like super the vision for me. And then I just like as like the deeper I got into it, I was kind of like, bro, look at the headaches these guys have. Like I could make just as much money doing other things without these headaches. And like I said, like promoting, like you could definitely make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like I've had weeks that I've done 10,000. I have weeks that I've done over 10,000 in a week. I've had weeks that I've only done 2,000. So it really all depends on the time of the year. But you can make a ton of money doing it still and have a blast without any of the stress. I mean, like you got to look at a lot of people like, some owners and some, managers that are like more invested in what they're doing. And like, if there's no sales, they're not making any money, just a headache, trying to keep people coming in, and then trying to keep people who have problems with managers about something that shouldn't even be really a problem. But that manager had an ego issue. So it is a problem. It's just so many headaches, bro.
A lot of egos.
Dude, so many egos, bro. You know how many managers I've bumped heads with and been like, bro.
So I like this actually. You are running a successful nightclub, right? Mm-hmm. And you obviously just co-signed him as he could potentially be the best promoter in the city? Like, what would make him? What would make him that? What makes like a great promoter? What does he have that some people don't?
I mean, I think just people just like being around him. I think he's approachable, and you know, it helps when girls like you. And you know, Nick is all the pussy. Like I say it all the time. It's always the DJs and the promoter get all the pussy. And Nick, every night I see him, like every night, like.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely
7 girls one night type shit, you know.
I definitely think it's a lot of it.
You got to share, man. What's up, bro? Can you
save some pussy for the rest of us, bro?
Well,
not me, but you know.
Yeah, not me. I got a girl, so just,
I have a girl as well. So when she sees this, sorry, babe. Yeah, no. So I think it's a lot of it's the energy. You know, and you know, I do always like, you know, spend a bunch of money, do a bunch of degenerate shit, like I said, and then I think I'm just an attractive guy. I think that's what it's got to be.
You are a good looking guy. No diddy.
You are a good looking guy. Yeah.
No diddy.
You rode your bike over here. I mean, that I heard that thing purring outside when I came to get you from the front door.
That's also part of it too. You know what I mean? Like the cars, the bikes, the wheelies, the crazy shit. You know what I mean? It's like girls are attracted to the bad boy. I supply the bad boy. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you know, again, like, he's approachable. He's smart. You know, he knows how to build a team. And you know, it's really hard to. I've seen him do like, you know, 115 girls in one night type shit.
And I think that's the big part of it. Like, no matter how drunk I am or how fucked I'm at the time, I'm still handling everything I need to be handled. You know, like I'm still checking on my team. Like, yo, are you guys doing your job? Like, if I'm not there, things go noticeably worse. But if I'm there to like literally crack the whip on these guys, like it doesn't matter how much fun I'm having, I'm always going to check up and make sure, hey, there's bottles at these tables. These girls are having fun. You guys are doing your jobs. Are you guys consistently on your phones trying to bring more people through that door? Are you texting somebody trying to get them to buy some bottles now? Like, I'm always on it. You know what I mean? With everything I do, even though I'm having fun, I always give it my 110.
Yeah. That's also the hardest part about being a successful promoter, or a lot of times anything that you do in nightlife, is if you're not there, it doesn't go as well.
100%.
So you can't, like, it's really hard to grow and be at 4 different clubs at one time because you're trying to get your team to do what they're supposed to do and grow your business. That's like the toughest part.
So I was at that stage where I was at, like, you know, just 4 different early venues, 4 different late venues. And I was like, dude, this is just such a headache, because I got managers at this club telling me, hey, there was this amount of girls. I got managers at this club telling me that there's this amount of girls. I got my promoter saying, well, this manager's wrong because I brought many more girls. Like, this is what you got to pay me for. And that's when I was kind of like, I'm cutting all that shit out. I'm going to pick 1 early night, 1 late night, maybe do 2 early nights, 2 late nights. And I brought down all that stress that was like from managing all that other shit, invoicing 100 clubs. And I brought it to like, okay, this is going to be our home bases right here. And we're just going to freaking just completely obliterate these clubs and just shut it down. And then we did that, and then like I said, you know, just your promoters burn out. You know, you got to just be cycling them, bro, or you just got to find people that love being degenerates.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then you burn out. So that's why I said, like, you know, I'll go crazy for like the whole summer, you know, a good part of the winter, and then like I'm half the year on, half the year off. I would say that's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you gotta, to win, you gotta love it. To do this, you have to love it. It's every day. 100%. It doesn't stop, you know?
I think if it was my only source of income and I was like happy with like $750,000 a year, I would do it and I would kill it. But you know what I mean? This is probably one of, like, you know, my lower income hustles, I guess you could call it. So it's like there's just too much going on for me to just completely focus 100% of my energy on it. Yeah.
Are you a big crypto guy? You seem like a big crypto guy.
So right now everyone's a big crypto guy because the halving is in April. I've done a lot with crypto. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a big crypto guy. I definitely hold Bitcoin, but a lot of that other like NFT bullshit, this shit coin, I don't mess with that, because yeah, there's crazy pumps, like, so you can pump and dump really quick, but it's just, none of it's real. You know, Bitcoin's definitely pretty stable. You know, it shows like it'll hold that value for like a consistent amount of time, and even if it does go down, if you hold and don't fold, it's gonna come back up. You know, so it's a lot lower of a risk to be holding Bitcoin than it would be to hold anything else. You know, like all these people pumping Dogecoin and Shibu Inu, all trash. Wouldn't mess with it. No offense to the people who are all doing that. Get your money, because I know you can make some money in the short-term trades, but it's just not consistent.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
So I'm born in Illinois, in LaGrange. then I moved to New York for a little while. Moved to LA, back here in Chicago.
Nice. How about you?
Born and raised Chicago.
Where at?
Logan Square, and then till I was like 6. And then my parents got divorced, and then I moved with my dad in Humboldt Park from 6 to, I'd say, 13, and then back to Logan Square again.
Dope. And you're pretty racially ambiguous, I feel like. What
That's
what
crazy.
ethnicity are you?
That's great.
I'm
Is that
You know, this is
crazy?
$1 million
Is that a
question
crazy thing
because
to
you don't know
say?
how many people I've seen come up to him like, "Are you black? Are you Indian?"
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
right.
it's the hair, man.
It is.
I'm Dominican, Puerto Rican, and black.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody would have ever guessed that
Yeah.
though.
Right.
Nobody.
That's why I had to ask.
you know how many times people are like, "Are
What are
you
you?
part Indian?"
I'm Italian, Polish. I'm like a white mutt, but I'm also Jewish, so that's
Oh,
why
okay.
I look a little Middle Eastern.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I'm Italian and Ecuadorian. Yeah, so
It's not really that simple, but okay.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. You
Well, just 50-50.
Both. No, I'm 75-25, and they're both Latin-based countries. So the languages are pretty similar. Culture, not so much, but it's all pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, we're getting down to the bottom of things that people really want to know here.
There you go.
Technically, I'm exotic. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Is there happen to be like a sea charger in here? Do people know that he's right there? Could I like reach over? 'Cause I
yeah.
can't really
Diamond
see
cuts
it.
the man. Yeah. What do you want to?
Charger over there?
Is that the I only have a lightning over
Yeah,
there.
no, this is an iPhone 15, so it's USB-C to USB-C.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to find over here. I have one. I'd have to dig it up for you.
All right, well
Have
then
to
we'll have
stop
to
the
chill
pod.
on it. We'll chill on it.
Yeah. But all right, so what do you think, what would the mission statement of CEO Promotions be, you think?
So when I first started CEO, I was thinking like the bigger side of things. Like I was thinking like, you know, because it stands for Chicago Entertainment Officials. So it was going to be most like, I wanted to book a lot of parties, like corporate events. I wanted to do stuff like that. And I wanted to kind of make my money on bookings, kind of do something similar to what he was doing, even with talent. Because that was, I thought, where like the money was. I wasn't thinking like, hey, you know, like this 10 of girls is going to add up. You know what I mean? That wasn't my goal. I was thinking like, I'm going to throw parties. I'm going to book corporate events. I have like a pretty large network of like high net worth individuals. Like I'm going to make this work. And then I realized, I was like, yo, that's so much stressful. I'm not around 100 bad bitches at all times. Like, why don't I just take the easy route and just still make some money doing it, have fun with my boys, you know, have good summers. We jump straight off the yacht, go straight to the club. Like, you know, and we made a lot of money and had a lot of fun doing it. You know what I mean? Like right now, like my staff, you know, some of them, you know, they are real degenerates and they depend on this income. So like, I'm glad that, you know, I'm creating American jobs. Woo!
Yeah, are you going to like hand the reins down to somebody one day or what?
Yeah, so basically, the GM for Joy District, his name's Derek. He's got tattoos all over his face, super degenerate. But, you know, he's basically been running everything, and I would say he does a pretty good job. I mean...
Wait, he's the GM of Joy District?
Or the GM of CEO, my bad.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, he's the GM of CEO. I don't know why Joy District came in my head. But yeah, so he's been doing a pretty good job. He holds it down. You know what I mean? His problem is that, you know, sometimes he gets a little too fucked up. But hey, party on, bro.
It is tough. It is tough in this industry where alcohol just fuels everything.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Because like I couldn't imagine like just getting that fucked up off comp bottles, bro. Chill,
That's a hangover and a half,
dude.
And you don't drink.
10 years sober.
10 years sober.
Yep.
So, how old are you?
40.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way it can
You look
be.
good,
You either
bro.
have to.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
It's because he doesn't
You know?
drink. But you
That
either have to be
definitely
that
helps.
guy that
Got good
doesn't
genes.
drink at all, or you got to be that guy that's getting fucked up. That's the only way you could survive working in a club consistently. You either have to have an iron liver and be willing to just fucking risk it all, or you just got to be sober.
Yeah. And if you don't mind asking, what made you go sober? Or at least stop alcohol?
Well, for first, it was getting out of hand. I was just drinking every day, and again, like I said,
Bullshit.
this business can, you know, it could eat you up. You know, no diddy. You know, I needed a break, so I was like, I'm just gonna take 2 weeks off. Forgot what year it was, but I remember the party. It was like I did a party at Soundbar. It was on a Friday. I was like, I'm gonna stop drinking. Went 2 weeks, and every day that I would like post it like on Facebook at the time. You know, 6 days sober, 10 days sober, and then I started getting praise for it. Like it kind of felt good. Like, oh shit, like getting all these likes, and then I started feeling better. Then I started sleeping better, and then the big thing was I would be in the room. And at the time, I was managing a nightclub called Green Dolphin, Diamond Cut knows this.
Damn, Green Dolphin.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
throwback right there.
And again, when you're managing, it's a lot. It's just not just coming in and just turning the lights on. You got to deal with staff and payroll and inventory and all that. But when I would be in the room, I would notice people just drunk, and I'd be like, "Man, do I act like that? That guy's acting."
That's
like
a big
fucking
thing for me too.
You know, I'm like, damn. And then I see this girl, and it started feeling kind of funny. Like, man, I don't want to be like that. And then I kind of got on my high horse a little bit, like, oh, you know, I'm kind of better than these people, type shit.
Dude, I feel that 100% because I've been sober the last couple months. I've been on one of my breaks, and I'll be scrolling through Instagram, like just watching people just like do dumb shit, like shotgun and high noons in the club. I'm like, dude, is that what I look like? And I know for sure that's what I look like.
Exactly what you look like.
Because there's like times that like I'll wake up in the morning and be like, bro, I fucking actually did that last night. Fuck it, dude. Like it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
No shame, bro. But like I've definitely done some shit that was like super embarrassing, like at least twice a week for like the last 3 years.
I feel that. Now here's an important question. When you're on your Instagram story and you are shotgunning high noons and you're being a wild boy, and then you wake up the next day and you look at it and it's
I delete that shit immediately,
You do?
bro. Immediately,
See,
bro. Because I'm not the same guy I was 5 minutes ago.
No, see, you gotta eat that, bro. It lasts for
bro.
24 hours. You gotta live with that.
It depends. It really all depends what it was. So if it was something like, okay, hey, like I was just shotgun, but that's not what it is with me. Like with me, it's like just something super crazy. Like one time I was all like, I was just wasted, right? And we were at Joy, and like there was like some random, you know, guys just coming into the section, just trying to like holler at girls. Like they weren't even like spenders or anything like that. And I had some private security with me at the time because for some reason I thought I needed private security. It was just something, I don't know, it was retarded. And I had the security guy kick the guy out, and like I was recording the whole thing, and then like some girl, I think the video might still be on my Instagram because I made it into like a whole like a reel, and like some girl standing in front of him, she goes, "Bye, Kevin." It was the funniest shit ever.
Like she came with him.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But I remember like when I posted the small clip on Instagram, I was like, my phone must have been so close to my face. Like I kept, when I played it the next morning, it was just so loud and obnoxious. I was like, yo, this is too loud. Like, let me just delete this. Like,
See, I've always like, I remember when I was doing the send nude shit, and I'd wake up the next day just fucking story full of ridiculous things. There was one time where I was in front of Prism. There, I was mad because they didn't let me in fast enough or something, and I was like, "Fuck Prism, this and that." Like, I woke up the next day, looked at it, I'm like,
I keep these in my favorites,
but
boy. So I could
you
just
gotta keep that up.
I could just pull this out at any time, stick it right to my forehead. I got other ones too. Just pull them out, stick them right to my forehead in the club, bro. I just keep them, bro. Sit on my face, like just a bunch of random funny ones. I do some funny shit in the club.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you used to be kind of crazy. I remember watching your Instagram videos, and you'd have girls on your shoulder and shit, and you calmed down, though.
I had good times. I had some good times.
You lived it up, yeah.
I lived it the fuck
You
up,
lived it up.
bro.
Yeah. I would say I have too. I mean, and that's been kind of like another reason, like, because like you said, you haven't drank in 10 years, and the reason why I said bullshit is because I was like, dude, people who drink, like they can quit drinking. I've seen a lot of people quit drinking, but I've never seen somebody, not one time, you know, quit drinking and then work in a place that everyone's drunk. You know, like dude, AA, basic AA, bro. You got to change your people, your places, and your things. You know what I mean, or whatever. So
yeah, but there's AA is like if you have an actual problem with alcohol and you cannot stop yourself from drinking.
So
There's
for me,
that.
there's either like it's like you're an alcoholic. See, like me, like I don't have a problem with alcohol. Like I could stop drinking for months at a time. But if I go to a club, that temptation is gonna catch me, and I'm gonna get fucked up. You feel me? Like.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone's different. Some people really need AA, and like if they don't stop drinking, they will die. I don't know if that was your case. It sounds like you were just like, I'm fucking over this shit. Like,
yeah, I've never
it's
thrown
very
up.
clear that this is not doing anything positive for my life. So like, why would I keep doing it? Which I respect so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just a fucking idiot when I was drunk. I'm the same thing. Like if I drink, I'm having 20 shots. I can't
100%.
do one or two. So it's
But
either one or the
great-
other. So and I'm just honest with myself that I just can't drink. So I don't. I'm just a better person.
That's definitely a great, you know, realization. Yeah. But like me, like I've never gotten like so drunk that I woke up the next morning puking, except for one time on my birthday. I puked the night of, but I didn't even wake up the next day and puke. So I don't think I get like that like obliterated. But I definitely embarrass myself regularly when I'm drunk. So that's kind of when I try to just like, okay, I need to chill. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, dude, low key, there's been a couple times that like I've just like Like, dude, fuck, this is a crazy story. I don't even know if I should put it on the
You ever
pod.
like take like a fat bitch home or something? Like,
No, bro. But one time,
He's for sure taking a fat.
I think
one time,
fat bitch home.
one time,
The
one time.
best looking dudes I know
Hold on,
in
don't change
the
subject. You've
world.
taken a fat girl home before.
No, I've never taken a fat girl.
Stop.
Nothing
You're
but
lying.
dimes.
You're lying. Dude.
Nothing but dimes, bro.
You're
Yes,
lying.
Yeah,
bro.
bro. You've taken a fat girl home before.
Never, dude.
That's impossible.
I don't.
bro.
It's not, bro.
Dude.
It's not, bro.
Everyone's taking.
You guys want to
a fat
hear? Here,
bitch
look,
home.
look. We talk about a crazy story though. One time, like,
So you
for
never
sure,
been on some drunk shit and just ate some pussy? You know?
Fuck no. Not a
You're
big
lying,
fan of
dude.
eating pussy. No, I'm not a big fan of eating pussy. Like, I really gotta love you. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't. No, it's just not. That's not for me.
I can respect that. I can connect with you on that.
Yeah, just not for me. You know,
I mean, I don't eat pussy. I'm just saying.
dude, don't lie, bro. I feel like you love eating pussy.
I mean, no, like my baby mama, I'll eat her pussy, you know, but I don't, just some random girl, no, I don't know.
Yeah, see, I can't do it.
But what I'm saying is, you know, there's been times when when I used to drink and I would be really drunk and, you know, you get excited.
You get a little crazy.
You get a little crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
for
get
sure.
it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, but yeah, I've done a lot of crazy stuff in my early days of promoting. I've grown up so much now. It's like I'm completely.
Well, when did you start? You couldn't have started too long ago. I left in 2020. There was no such thing as CEO promotions. I came back in 2024, and here you guys are.
Yeah,
it
so
couldn't
I
have
probably
been too
started.
long.
I probably started like 2019. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
So it's only been 5 years.
That's a long time to be
No.
doing something, bro. Most of my hustles, bro, I try to find something I make $1 million with, and then I move on. You know, I don't really have too many things that I've been doing. Like, okay, hey, like, dude, this is probably the longest time I've ever done something consistently. 5 years. That's crazy for me.
How long did Pauly say that Promo 7's been going on for? 20
I was just going to say that. Again, you have to love it because Promo 7, like, they've been doing it. But they're owners now. Like, they own stuff.
Well,
And
I'm saying, like, they still, like, whatever flyer they're on, you'll still see the Promo 7 logo.
oh, yeah, yeah.
of
dude, they're-
course.
yeah,
They're
shout out to
getting
them,
that
yeah.
promo money.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been doing it when I started.
yeah,
yeah,
Promo
Like,
7.
those guys.
They're hanging, bro. Like, they have no intentions on stopping either. Like, they're still Tunnel, Joy. Like, you know, they're still.
Well, they love it for sure. Like you said yourself, you're like, started and was aspiring to like own a nightclub, and then I saw how much stress goes into it, and I'm like, fuck that. Those dudes see that stress and they don't give a fuck because they love it.
You have to
They're
love
like,
it.
Well,
I love
so you
this
look
shit.
at like Riz, and like Riz is like just a straight degenerate. I love that guy. I love to party with Riz. But then you look at Pauly, and it's like I don't think I've ever one time seen Pauly drunk.
Stop it.
No,
I
I've
mean,
seen
he doesn't
Pauly
get
drunk.
drunk like stumbling over drunk, but he
I've seen that.
indulges.
I mean, I see him drink, but like I've never seen him like, okay, he's fucked up. Like you're if you see me on a Friday or a Saturday, like you're gonna notice that like I'm leaning a little bit. You know what I mean? I've never seen Pauly be like, okay, he's got a buzz.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you know.
He holds himself together
He
well.
does. He does. I mean, most of the time I do too, but like if you know me well enough, you'll be like, yeah, this guy's fucked up.
So where are you promoting at on Friday and Saturday?
So we mostly just do Joy and Underground right now, but right now we're doing Joy, Hubard, and Underground. So, like I said, I like to keep the schedule pretty small, especially if I'm not being as active, because it'll start to stress me out. I'll start getting emails, phone calls. People will start wondering where I am if I'm trying to divide myself too thin, and just don't need that headache.
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh,
Whoa.
is there? If that's alcohol, that was alcohol abuse. You spilled it.
No, it's just coffee.
That's iced coffee.
Iced coffee. No alcohol.
So there's a new face in the promo game though. Close friends with Monty and Emilio. How's everyone feeling about that?
Oh, okay. Are we starting some beef here?
No beef. Love Monty.
I don't know much about that.
Love Emilio. I'm just I see that they're actually doing pretty good. I was just wondering if anybody else has experienced with them. But I heard they brought like 60 girls to Liquor Box last Friday. I heard they're doing pretty good.
I'm not 100% sure who Emilio is. Maybe if I saw his face.
He is one of the VIP hosts at Joy. Milo.
I think I know who he is.
Yeah, looks Asian, but you can't tell.
Yes. I know.
Yeah.
who that is.
Tattoos? He has tattoos?
You got a couple tattoos, yeah.
Yeah, Monty's my boy. I like him a lot. I'm not 100% sure on his graphic designer. I'll tell
His
you
graphic
that much.
designer's ass. I told him the same thing. I was like, "You
I'll
need
tell you
mine,
that
bro."
much.
I was like, "You need mine, bro." But no, overall, I think they're doing pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. I love a young, hungry hustler. I want to see people who are enjoying what they're doing and want to bring a party. Like as a DJ, I can only do so much. I need the nightclub to be.
It's got to be
fucking
alive on
really
every
getting
aspect,
it.
yeah.
I need the promoter to be really getting it. I need everybody's help to really make the party like. I don't know about you guys, but when I DJ somewhere and it's not that lit, it fucking affects me, bro. I go home at night and I'm like, fuck, like, why?
Yeah,
And
I feel that the DJ plays the biggest part, I think, though. Like, you know, because, like, you know, just like from a promoter's aspect, like if the DJ's ass, like my girls are going to want to leave. You know what I mean? So
what makes a DJ ass?
You know, just like sometimes I'll be at Joy and I'll get there at 10 and I'll leave at 1 and I'll hear the same song 9 times.
No way.
I swear to God, it's so.
Well, there's
repetitive.
in that time there's 2 different DJs. So if you heard the same song twice, I could.
No, I'm not. Not even talking about twice. I'm talking about like it just.
See, but things like that though, that's kind of like the whoever's managing the floor. That's their job to make sure that the DJ is doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, like you get DJs sometimes that'll come in there and it's 10:55 and they're playing like Future and Drake and. You know, they're playing all the bangers early. You got to like
100%.
You got to know, first of all, you have to know who you're hiring and set the expectation and let them know what you need and how you need it. You know, no Diddy. But,
no Diddy.
And, yeah, it's your job to make sure that they're playing the room the right way.
100%. Question for you, because you said that you left in 2019 and came back in 2024. Where the fuck did you go?
I went to Houston.
Houston. And okay, and you were just DJing down there?
Yeah, me and my boy Dolo, we went and opened up the Bottle Blonde Houston out there.
Okay.
We went
Yeah, because
with
it's
them.
crazy. Like for me, you know, just like at the time, like when you came out of nowhere, right? And then there's a lot of people talking about you. And then somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody sent me your podcast. It was like, yo, go watch this. And I watched this and I was like, yo, this guy's fucking hilarious, bro. Like he's trying to bring out the dirt, you know what I mean?
Whatever happened to the skits, man? You used to do those skits with you and Dolo. Those
Appreciate
were awesome.
it.
Those
Man,
were funny as hell.
Thank you. We were doing that and loving it and all that. And then we went to Houston and we were trying to do that same thing. Like that's what, you know, that was the Strategy and Dolo show. That was what we did. We made like funny promo videos to go for the night. And we were doing it in Houston and like, I don't know if it was the fact that they didn't know us already. Like we weren't established out there. So people didn't really get what we were doing, but like they weren't enjoying it the way that people were enjoying it here. Like I felt like they looked at us like, what the fuck is this? Like this shit's stupid.
Is it because it came out of nowhere maybe?
I think it has a little bit of that. It came out of nowhere, but also my entire 3 years in Houston, I never really felt comfortable or accepted or like understood. Like my sense of humor, my personality, everything about me, I could talk to people in Houston and like they just didn't get it.
I feel like you could get down in Houston, bro. If you threw a trucker hat on, that beard, bro, you know, big old cowboy belt, I feel like you could really thrive down
Sure,
there.
the way that I look, but like I'm talking about my personality, how I talk to somebody, how, you know, somebody comes and says something to you and you answer back with like, you know, I have a pretty dry sense of humor. I make a stupid joke or something like it just doesn't click with them. Like they don't get it.
It's just different over there.
Yeah, you know what? Have you ever heard the term like if you ever go somewhere, like people say like, yeah, they could tell we're from Chicago. We're a different breed, bro.
100%.
100%.
It's
from every level. How we talk to girls, how we get money, and how we hustle and all that. I was just talking about that. I went to Miami.
That's right. You were just
week.
there.
Yeah, I went there last week, and we're talking about how like it's so easy out there because of the tourists and all that. And I was like, yeah, but you know, it's also your hustle. Like, you know, Jeremy in Chicago, he used to work for Royal Society. He's out there killing it. And when he went there during COVID, he just took over the whole shit. That's because he has that Chicago hustle, you know?
100%.
Because here you have to grind every day. Like you gotta, you know, put the work in to just make some type of noise.
Yeah.
Even as a DJ, you know, you gotta be honest. Not just being able to play. You gotta be able to bring people and know people and have your marketing on point. Your marketing was, you know, is great.
Yeah, you do have great marketing, and I know like I'm not sure how it is for like a DJ, but I know like when Brian like he started promoting at Tao, like that was like an accomplishment. It was a stepping stone for All Access. You know what I mean? And I've heard several DJs kind of have the same mentality. Wow, dude, I'm DJing at Tao tonight. Is that how it felt for you?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dolo were residents there before we left. We were doing
really?
Strategy and Dolo show at Bottle Blonde, and then we would go close out Tao. So I was playing there before, but yes, I mean, I talked about this on the last pod. Just playing at Tao, especially compared right now, the times that we're in, most of the spots that I'm playing, it's hard to find good workers. It's hard to find good people that are driven and are on the same page as you and all that shit. Like playing at Tao, I felt like I was part of this fucking team that was just ready to take over. Like the lights, the decor, the staff, the management, everything in there is at the highest level it could be. So
they set you up for success.
They set me up for success. I don't feel like the weight of the party is on my shoulders like I do at most of the places that I play, because the DJ plays such a big role, because the lights aren't that on point. The fucking AC is not working, or the decor is old and the seats are ripped. And like, you just walk in there and you don't have this sense of like, damn, there's a lot that went into this. You know,
well, that's because Tao is they're such a huge brand. You know, it's not just nationwide; it's worldwide. You know, there's not a million Joy Districts, there's not a million Undergrounds. You know, those are Chicago clubs. Tao is, you know, you go to Tokyo, you'll find a Tao. You know what I mean? It's
and you can feel that.
Yeah,
you can
so
feel that in there.
they have it down to a science at this point. You know. Yeah. Whereas like other clubs, you know, like they don't have that, you know, I'm sure even Tao's equipment is on another level.
It's pristine, bro. I go to, you know, not to shit on my residency, but at Friday nights, I go in there and the effects knob has been broken since I got back. And I've been telling motherfuckers about it. Every other time I go there, something's wrong. The cap of one of the faders is gone. It's one of the spots.
Oh, you don't want to like...
I mean, I don't want to air them out. They literally pay me every week, and I like the spot. But just for the sake of this conversation, like, having the equipment on point is fucking huge, bro. Like, I'm
gonna go find out. I'm gonna go check on your Friday Night Flyers, and I'm gonna air them out.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want, please. If maybe it'll get them to fix the shit.
Maybe it will. I don't know.
It's just so it's all those little things add up. You know, your equipment's a little bit broken. Sure, it works. You can get sound to come out of it, but I can't do my job at the highest level that I'm trying to do it. And I would imagine it's the same for the light guy. So you have all this room, you have all this potential to fill all this space with amazingness, but you're falling short here, you're falling short here, you're falling short here, you're falling short here, and now you only got this much.
And you know, that's another big thing, because I was actually talking to somebody down in Florida that they own a bar, and they said that they change the sound system, all the speakers every couple of years, because, you know, it's just like if you drive a car every day all day long, like, you know, it's gonna need maintenance. You know, so it's like, and I know there's a lot of places in Chicago that have probably been rocking the same speakers since they opened 10 years ago.
Fuck,
you know,
yeah.
And you know, now there's new systems, you know, just like an iPhone, get, you know, updates, new features, you know. So I think a lot of people definitely need to reinvest some of that money that they're making into the experience that people are going to have in that venue. Because if they had new sound systems, people would come there more, you know, and they would, you know, in turn make more money. But, you know, they're just like, a lot of people are just, you know, they don't want to reinvest into the business. They think they got themselves built, and they wait till the problem is so tragic that they have no other option but to solve it.
Yeah, and especially for right now, this current time that we're in nightlife, it kind of feels like nightlife is not that great right now. It's hard. You're like really scraping. You have to work fucking hard to get your venue to be popping. It's not like there's a million people out and there's a couple spots to go to that get filled up quick. There's a lot of spots and there's not that many people out. So
well, actually, there's not a lot of spots. Look at all the places that closed down.
Even with all the places that closed down, there's still a lot of
there's still a decent amount of spots, but you got to think about it. With all those places open, you know, I remember a time like all these places were open and they were all slammed. Now there's less places open, and all those places, you know, they don't have the party that they had then. You know, I remember when I first started going to Joy, and I remember it would be slammed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as that club opened up, it was slammed. You know, now like you got like at midnight, the room kind of looks good. You know, so they're not making that early money that they were making at one point, but and then they think like, oh well, we're not making that early money. Let's not even try. You know, and it's like, okay, well then you're never going to make that early money back. You know, it's just like they need to put more effort in, I think, you know. And it's like, and another thing I have an issue with a lot of clubs is like, you know, they'll have, you know, 3 layers of promo to fill the club early. Two of the 3 layers won't show up, and then they complain at the one layer that did, like, oh, you didn't do your job. Well,
right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, nobody's working as a team. You know, I think like even with my promo company, when all my staff works as a unit, we shut it down. We kill it, like obliterate it. But like if one missing part doesn't do their job, it slacks, and that's what clubs and other venues have to see as well.
Yeah, it trickles down. So just the times that we're in, I feel like it's hard to invest in your nightclub, and I understand that. Like if I was an owner right now and my shit was just, it was going and we're making money, we're in the green, I'm probably thinking like, I don't know how long this is going to last. Why am I reinvesting in it? It's working, the sound's working, the DJ equipment works, there's people in there spending money. Why would I get a new sound system when I could just keep this money? Because I don't know how long it's going to last. That's sort of the vibe I get. I don't know how.
Yeah,
true
but
it is,
as a business owner, you have to have that faith in your company. This is going to last. If I'm thinking, how long is this going to last? My business is going to fucking fail.
Well, again, I think it goes back to, again, you got to love it. Like if you don't care about it, you're just going to neglect it. You're not going to. I mean, 100%. The fact that I'm not going to say the name, but the fact that they don't fix their mixer tells me, it says a lot. You know, it says, and again, and it shows. It shows, and I'm not talking shit. I'm not, whatever. But like, it shows in their nights, and if they're busy, and is it just busy after 2 o'clock? What kind of crowd is going there? Like,
yeah, because how are they going to give you a broken mixer? Expect you to keep the place vibing, and then if you don't because the mixer's broken, they want to get blame you and get rid of you. I've seen like
I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but like I'm just saying from my point, I'm like, every little bit helps. A lot of people don't see that because you're not in the DJ booth DJing, you're not in the nightclub every night. You're the owner, so you're looking from the outside. You're looking at the numbers. You're looking at the computer screens, this and that.
Here, like for instance, here's a great example, and this is like a perfect example where you just took advantage of a situation that happened, and I'm sure it worked out excellent for you. There was an issue where like pretty much like 80% of the bottle girls left one club. And they were kind of all like looking to move around, and you were the guy that they moved to, and you pretty much hired all of them. And I think it worked out excellent for you. You know what I mean? I don't really want to name what club they left from or what happened, but
but I think that the reason they wanted to leave was because they knew the noise was there. They knew we were making money. They knew we were busy.
100%.
Again, and I was,
But you got to think, how much it probably costed the club they left to have to bring new staff, train new staff, 100%. Hopefully get them to have that new staff to bring in the same clients that they were bringing in. Over that venue could have just treated their girls a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, them leaving hurt them.
100%.
Even now to this day, again, I'm not knocking.
Yeah, no shade.
Venue, because to be honest with you, like. For me, like they help us, that venue brings us business indirectly.
100%.
Late night. But yeah, staff is a very big part of your success, and if you can't keep them happy and you can't put them in a position to make money,
that's all ego things.
They're gonna leave.
Because these clubs think like, okay, these girls are disposable. I'll find another one, and then they'll find another one, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then you just broke up.
Let me piss real quick.
Okay.
There's nothing that beats the feeling of being secure and protected while commuting in the city. Kinfo Concierge is Chicagoland's premier armed chauffeur service. Their expertise range in services that provide VIP car services and personal protection. DM with the code STRATEGY or give them a call and let them know you saw this promo on the podcast for 30% off of your next ride. That's a 30% discount. That's a big discount. That makes a $100 ride $70. Don't hesitate to book your next elite level experience. Contact Kinfo Concierge today. Back to the episode.
Use that, what do you call that butt squirting thing? Bidet?
Bidet? Yeah.
That's your shit or what?
That's for my shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You never used a bidet?
Nah, bro. I just...
You too scared? You scared you might like it?
I don't know. Maybe, dude. I just kind of, if I had to, just, I got some wet wipes and shit.
The thing is with the bidet, though, is if you can really relax and you're not tensed up, it goes into your ass. The water, like, fills your ass up. And then you're able to shoot it back out and get like all that shit that wouldn't have come out before.
No way.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've mastered the relaxation.
I'll suck a little water into my ass.
Nice.
No diddy.
No diddy.
No diddy. No diddy for sure.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
So you were telling me about egos in the nightclub and them not respecting some of the girls and thinking they're disposable, right?
Same thing with like I've even seen like clubs lose good promoters. I've seen just a lot of stuff just over like like minuscule, like a small problem that's just like an ego thing,
Yeah. There's a lot of egos for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's people like, you know, like that I think that like just have like the most drama free like work experience. Like Mike Jabber, I don't think his ego ever got to him really in my experience. I don't think he's ever had a problem with somebody that like resulted in like, okay, like you have to go, you know, but then there's like other people whose names I really don't feel like naming that, you know, I've seen like, okay, that was a dick move and it was just all an ego thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. As the GM of a successful Chicago nightclub, how do you keep your ego in check? Well, you don't drink, so that helps a lot for sure. Alcohol definitely inflates your ego.
Yeah.
He's just all business. That's how he.
I think you know, I'm. That's probably one of my like one things that I'm grateful for, like that I've grown, that I'm able to be like humble in my position. You know, you would think that someone like in my situation would be very arrogant and, you know,
in terms of the fact that like you've taken this building and restored it essentially, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, that, and just, you know, before that, you know, I mean, Cuvée was, you know, again, one of the top clubs, and I opened Electric Hotel, and I was part of that success, and maybe didn't get the credit, but I was the reason why that place was, you know, one of the top clubs at the time. I mean, you and I were going to do something on Saturday, residency, I think.
At Electric?
Yeah, we were talking, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And what was so you were willing to do the house thing all day, 24/7?
Well, so the problem was when we opened Electric, we were competing with each other because they were both 4 o'clock, so we had to separate.
You're talking Electric and Cuvée.
Yeah, same owner.
And it was the same owner. Yeah.
Yeah. So we opened it. We tried to do the house thing over there. Actually, at the time, Eric Boss was one of the managers, and Dash. Shout out to Dash. He's in Florida now, running Bounce.
Did he go out to Delray Beach?
Yeah, he's out there.
Nice.
I think he's the GM there now.
Good.
I think RT went out there too.
Yeah.
RT definitely went out there, yeah.
So again, we had to separate the brands, you know. So it was like, okay, we're gonna do more house over here and keep this more hip hop. But it just didn't work. Especially if you have to make money, you have to have multiple nights, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to diversify. So we started a Thursday, and then we had a Sunday, and then Friday was struggling, so we had to kind of revamp that and kind of, you know, figure out a way to get it going. So again, having all that success from, you know, having 2 4 a.m. venues, doing the biggest artist, then COVID happening, going underground, that place. So what people don't know is underground opened, I think it was 2020 in July of right after COVID. Mm-hmm. We opened it. I wasn't the GM though. I was like the director of nightlife or something like that. I never wanted to be a GM. I think it's a shit job. I think it's like a bitch job. Like you just do all the shit that the owner doesn't want to do. And you don't get any of the credit, but all the problems you get blamed for. So I just never wanted to do it. So when I was running Cuvée in Electric, I wasn't the GM. I was just like director of promotions or something, but I brought all the money in.
Director of marketing. So
if you bring all the money in, you're in charge. So I didn't see eye to eye with the GM that they hired initially at Underground. So I quit. So when I quit, the place went down. Mm-hmm. And then they had a big walkout too. All their staff left. They went to Liquor Box and other venues. And then after 3-4 months, you know, they started noticing, okay, maybe we made a mistake. And then Billy brought me back. Yeah,
because actually I had like a brief, I worked at Underground for a little bit before you got there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is shit. And then like I was like, I'm bouncing. I bounced. And I went back to Liquor Box, and then I don't know how you got in touch.
Yeah, I didn't like you at first. I thought you were a fucking douchebag at first.
Yeah, dude. I feel like a lot of people
still do.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people do until you actually sit down and have a conversation with me. And they're like, wow, this guy's not the prick that he seems like he is on social media. But we started talking about something, and then we got on the phone. I was actually on my motorcycle, and we were talking, and you were like basically kind of like telling me how things were, and I was like, yeah, all right, you know, like we could figure it out, you know. And he was like, yeah, and you were like, but like I'm gonna hold you accountable, like something like that. I was like, all right, that's fine, you know. And then came and they're like, you know, I think it's probably been one of the best working relationships with the venue I've had. And that's what I mean, that he is all business. Like, he's one of the like people that like, you know, like if something's up, he's gonna voice it to you and be like, hey, look, this is not what we, you know, our agreed on deal was, so we're gonna have to improve this, and this is what's gonna have to happen. And I feel like it comes to something where like we can mutually agree on something. We work very well together, and that's why I love it. You know, like, you know,
Where'd you work before? Like, what was your late night spot? What was it? I know I'm just being an asshole.
Liquor Box.
Liquor Box? Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
Shit.
I'm gonna have to leave the room for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll say it, you know, they still owe me some money,
Gotcha.
but probably shouldn't put that on the potty because, you know, I don't.
Well, we're pretty deep in that episode. We'll be all right.
Yeah, because, and you know what, it's like, I love a lot of people from that group, you know, like, you know, Liquor Box does have some great staff there. They have some irresponsible owners because that's what I hear it dwindles down to. But I have a lot of love for the venue. It's a great place to party. Their parties are insane. I just know a lot of people have problems. Like, a lot of people that I talk to, you know, have problems getting money from them, which is an issue. You know, in order to run a business, you have to pay people out on time. And I remember that was one of the things that he was very like, he's like, bro, he's like, if you want money, he's like, I'll give you a check at the end of every night. And I was like, bro, that's not necessary. He's like, bro, I'll do it though. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, so I like a club that I don't have to harass for money.
Yeah. It's
What was your initial question? I'm sorry, I forgot. I got sidetracked. Did I answer your initial question? I forgot what you asked me.
I don't even remember, but I do have a good question.
Okay.
What do you guys think is an acceptable amount of money for a client to come in and get a table and start calling shots like, I want this song played, or I want this, I want that?
If you're not even like in like the 5K minimum range, don't even ask me for anything extra.
Yeah, I don't know. We're a little bit different on the ground. I think that's why we kind of we make the money we make, and we're a little bit different from other clubs. Is I don't fuck around. Like, I don't care who you are, who you know. Like, I mean, I've had like Offset, I've had any big artists outside waiting to get in, not get in.
That is true.
I don't really care about, you know, any of that. So we want what we want, you know. But if you, I mean, you know, like if like there's certain clients like Ray, for example, like a Ray or a Dr. Martin, you know, they're consistent. They come in, spend $6,000-$7,000 every week. You know, if Dr. Martin says, hey, I want to hear some Afro beats for a little bit, I'll probably play like 1 or 2 songs for him.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to compromise my room for anybody. Because, you know, because you got to think long term, right? You know,
yeah,
100%.
And so, I mean, I actually had that a couple weeks ago where I had a client come in. We were dead as shit. They spent like $15,000 and they wanted me to play a certain type of music. It just didn't fit what we were doing Saturday. And I just said, okay, just play 1 or 2 songs. And they were upset. And they're like, we spent all this money. I'm like, I don't care. We don't do that. This is how it is. You know, you don't have to be here.
I forget who it was. There was an artist at Underground, and I remember being in the back, and like they were like, "Bro, he wants another 42. He wants another 42." And you were just like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm not giving it to him. He's had enough, bro. Like, he came, he did his job, he got paid. We gave him what we agreed to pay, and I'm not giving him anything extra." And I was kind of like, I remember kind of thinking, I'm like, "Yo, I probably would have just gave him the bottle of 42." You know what I mean? But he was just not folded. He's like, "I don't give a fuck who he is. He can leave."
Yeah, you got to, man, because they have to walk all over you.
100%.
Yeah.
You got to be front. It was Travis Scott.
Was it Travis?
Yeah,
That's what I thought it was. I didn't want to.
Travis wanted like 2 1942s, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I respect that, because I recently was playing a spot and like the room was going, the room was good. There's a good vibe. People are dancing, bars making money, tables not much, but then, you know, someone comes in and gets 1 bottle of Casamigos for probably $500 or something, and they're trying to tell me to play hip hop for this table, and I'm like,
that,
what are you saying right now?
That's crazy.
$500 that they're probably going to babysit that bottle for an hour.
Dude.
If I'm getting this room to spend money and have a good time, you're going to make more than that in an hour, and it's just going to keep going until the end of the night.
So were they not busy?
It was
like
busy,
a desperate
but like,
move? Like they just wanted to make.
well, I think the thing is that like you have a lot of like the younger VIP hosts and things like that, and they're trying to make their money. You know, they're like, if I sell this $500 bottle, that's where I make my money. I get my cut of that table. Just because the bar's making money is not.
Well, that's not what happened.
What
What probably happened was the client was like, "Yo, here's $100. Have a DJ play this song for you."
Or
You know what I hate, dude? I hate that like you know, like there's so many different roles in a nightclub's like it's running. Like VIP hosts kind of like they just like they don't know their role at this point anymore, and that's kind of like I feel like a huge issue, you know what I mean? It's like there's like it's just like nobody's doing exactly what they're supposed to be. A VIP host is supposed to be bringing in tables, sitting them down, making sure that, that's their role. But, there's people going to the door, grabbing people. I've had VIP hosts not let somebody in that they should have let in. It's so, a VIP host is like the most aggravating position that I have to deal with when it comes to being at a club.
Yeah, because it's like I don't even know the value if you're not bringing like a substantial amount of money to this club through VIP services.
Why are you here?
What are you doing?
Except to cause a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
it starts with the top though. You got to hold them accountable.
That is true. That is true. And like I said, it's a slippery slope for venues, dude. Like it doesn't matter if you're the GM, the director of marketing, you're just the manager. It's like most people want to do that bare minimum to collect that check, and that's why I think that there are certain things that could be done at certain clubs with just a little bit more effort from everybody that would completely be like a game changer for that club, and they're just not doing it. I've made suggestions and like watched them just get through in one ear out the other, and I'm like, this is something simple that you guys could be doing that would, greatly affect, the parties that you guys are having and make it just such a better, venue. And I've even talked to other people and they're like, yeah, I agree, and then it just never happens. Just laziness is what it is. People are just so lazy nowadays, like they're just like bare minimum.
Yeah, it's kind of just the culture at the moment, which is unfortunate.
It is.
But it also leaves room for you to stand out if you work double time,
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. What this is a DJ podcast, right? There might be some younger aspiring DJs listening. From the positions that you guys are in, what do you think makes a great DJ for your venue or for a party that you're doing?
For me, it's you got to be able to play any room, meaning any crowd. So if you could play a house set or a hip hop set, you just got to know how to like diversify your set when needed. I think that's what makes a great DJ. And then also playing the right set at the right time. Again, it depends when you're playing.
Being able to read the room.
Yeah, if it's 11 o'clock, and you got a bunch of girls in the room, you need to play a certain set. If it's 2 o'clock and it's a bunch of drug dealers spending money, it just depends on what the feel is. You got to know.
They're Frenchie dealers.
Yeah, Frenchie dealers. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Just you got to be smart. You got to have some common sense and know how to read the room. And another big thing for me is song selection too. Like the type of songs you're playing, how you're playing them. And just not be boring. A lot of guys are just playing the same 10, 15 songs, Sexy Red, Drake, Future, like mix it up a little bit,
Exactly, yeah.
I think you do that really well. When you played for me this a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh shit, he played that. He played like you take pride in what you're playing. It's not just, what the crowd wants to hear. But at the same time, you're making sure that people are staying in the room and spending money and all that. So that takes time, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times you get a lot of DJs that are technically savvy. They know how to like blend the record and they know how to use the equipment. But when they get in front of people, they don't understand
that's a good example.
The dynamic of what it takes to be a really good club DJ.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with
appreciate it. Thank
you.
you.
Like I've had Jay-Z's DJ play for me, or like Guru. Guru is Jay-Z's
Young Guru.
Yeah, Young Guru. He's Jay-Z's engineer. He's trash, terrible. He could DJ. He knows how to technically blend the record, but he can't. You put him in a club, he's trash. Another DJ, and again, this is not a jab. This is just my opinion. Like Boy Genius. Boy Genius is one of the best technical DJs I've ever seen in my life. Won the Red Bull turntable contest. And I've had him in rooms with me, and he's like playing like, again, he's very like artsy, like it's what I want to play. I don't really care what anybody thinks. And he's playing like cumbia, like at 1 o'clock. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Then I say something to him and he gets mad and had to cut his set short, and I don't really book him. Not because he's not good, it's just he doesn't fit what I'm doing, So again, it's all perspective. But for me, like in my environment, I would say he's not good because he doesn't understand what's needed to be successful in the room.
Yeah,
right?
I think DJing.
But he's an amazing DJ. Again, no jab. I'm just being real.
He is an incredible DJ, and I think he would tell you himself. I feel like he wouldn't at this point even put himself in a nightclub like that because he's understands who he is and what he wants to do.
Right.
And he's gotten to the point where he's only doing shit he wants to do.
Yeah. And he's told me like,
which I love.
Yeah, he's texted me like years ago, like, yo, bro, why would nobody book me? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't think he understood what it was. Again, because it's the business at the end of the day. So you gotta play the sexy reds and all that shit. And you know, if that's not what you feel, and you're passionate about your craft and you want to do other shit, that's cool. But maybe, you know, underground or joy is not your thing. You know, and that's okay.
Yeah,
you do have to be a little bit of like a whore, and
you have to, yeah.
And,
but again, someone like you, someone that's really good has balance. And I think you have balance. I think Protege has balance. Sean Mack has balance. You know, some other ones.
Maximo, he's pretty good.
Max is really good.
I like Maximo.
Yeah,
Shots
Payday's really good.
Quinones.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, those guys.
Payday's great.
You know, like Max. Max can go to Celeste and play a house set.
DJ Mr.
you know?
Han, pretty good, I think.
Han's awesome too.
This is the second mention that Mr. Han has gotten on the pod.
Han's fire, bro.
Han's gas, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I ever seen Han, I was walking through Hubbard for like somebody was having like a little event there, and I was like, I'm gonna just walk through, say what's up, show face, you know, show a little bit of support. And he was there. It was actually We Outside Shy. It was Joe B when Joe B was running We Outside Shy, and Mr. Han was there, and I was like, yo, this guy's really just he's killing it. And that's what it is. I think the DJ is the hardest job in the club in reality, because not only do you got to know the tech, not only do you got to be trend savvy and know what's going on, like when everyone did that "Keep My Wife's Name Out Your Mouth" thing with Will Smith, but you also have to know music. It's just like it's like you have three categories you have to master, you know, tech, music, and trends. You know, so you constantly got to be like in the loop about what's going on. Like people will come talk to me about some shit sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I'm too busy to constantly be like worried about like trends. But that's something a DJ, you know, that's a big part of being a DJ, and that's what will make you a good DJ. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably one of the
They get all the
hardest
ass too. You guys get all the pussy.
I would disagree, because I've bartended and I've also DJ'd, and I would elect bartending at being a higher pussy pulling position.
because you got a girl.
No.
This is before I was a different man. Before I had a girl.
Well, then it's because you're a little ugly.
I was trying to
doing
get
something wrong.
all the pussy.
But you were getting all the pussy. You had like the baddest bitches on your shoulder. I've seen it. I got it. So I think it's the
Well,
DJ.
then
I think it's the DJ, the bartender, and then the promoter.
I go bartender, GM, DJ.
GM, nah.
GMs for sure. They're like the GMs of certain clubs will be like, you want that? Friday?
Well,
you want that Friday shift?
That's the thing though. If they know you're the GM, then yeah, you probably
Bro, GMs
do okay. But
GMs are out here real life Diddy, bro. GMs are out here real.
we do okay. But the DJ gets all the pussy. Think about it, because you guys are the center of the room.
so here's the
Everyone
thing.
sees you. They want to be in the booth.
The DJ gets all the pussy near them at the time of the party. Yes, the party's going on, the booth's filled with bitches. But then when the promoter's leaving to go hit the after party before the club actually closes, and I got to be there till the lights come on, there's none left by the time the lights come on.
That's fact.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's fair.
That's facts.
That's fair.
I'm with him though on the GM thing. GMs will blackmail their way into your pants. Like, you want that shift? You better suck this dick. No shade to you, because I know you don't do that, my boy. But I've seen quite a few GMs.
The bartender, because you get to really converse with the person. You give them a free drink. Oh,
and then you know when they're overserved.
To really show your personality.
Yeah,
And you know when you've given them enough shots that they need to lube up the tank.
They're warmed up.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It's a good observation on that. Good job, man.
I've done it both. I was a bartender. Bartending is fire. Butch McGuire's.
Which I've never heard of that.
Pay a lot of money.
I mean, for the time, it was my first job in the industry, so it's definitely the most money I had ever made. Like to that point, you know, I was like Ross's Dress for Less, fucking loss prevention before that.
No way, dude. You were the guy chasing people out of the store?
Well, they don't let you chase anybody, but that guy, yeah.
Yeah, dude. One time I was in Walmart, and I seen one of those loss prevention guys snatch up some little kids that were stealing some shit. Like, we just snatch them up. I was like, yo, that's not legal.
Yeah.
But he did it, and he walked him straight into like a little background area. It was crazy. Called the cops and shit.
Yeah, that was my first industry shit. And then I was like, oh, I'm never leaving. Like, this is what I'm doing forever, bro. And that was before I started drinking. I didn't start drinking until I was 25.
Wait, so you?
Oh, really?
And I was bartending when I was like 23.
So like, do you do anything besides DJ? Like, do you have like another job or something?
No.
So what are you gonna do when you like? What do you do when you get like older and stuff? Like you're just gonna DJ for life?
I mean, I got a couple little investments and things like that.
Okay, so you did something smart. That's what's
I'm trying to build for my future for sure. That's always been a thought in my mind ever since I
Why don't
started.
you come get licensed to sell life insurance, my boy? I got you.
I don't. That's Mark Stout, bro. Mark Stout's got that covered already.
Mark Stout. Who's Mark Stout?
He's a old school DJ. He
Mixed in Mark. Yeah, dude.
He's out in Vegas now, but he doesn't sell life insurance. He sells health insurance.
I forgot about him.
Dude, I do life insurance, bro. Crazy commissions.
Omnia?
Yeah, he's resident.
He's still playing?
Omnia. Yeah, he's fucking caked up, bro.
They make the yearly release of their artists that they have.
Yeah.
He's right there with the big name.
What's up with what's his name? He was from Chicago, so he was really big. When I was doing Dolphin, he just popped off. And was it Anthony Attella? What's his name? Anthony.
I remember that name.
He opened up for like Swedish House Mafia. He was from Chicago, pretty big. He was doing his thing.
He stayed in that era though. The other guy who blew up, what's his name? We had Homeboy. He's road manager.
Oh, Jake Shore?
Yeah, Jake Shore Drive.
Oh yeah, Jake.
He's currently blowing.
Yeah, he got a couple songs.
Pause.
Pause. No Diddy.
Pause. I was reaching for my phone. I seen the camera. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, it's all good. He just released a track with Henry Fong. That's pretty slapping.
Shout out to him. Yeah,
Jake's doing his thing for sure. I
out
mean,
to
I'll
Jake.
be the first to tell you, we all looked at that kid back in the day and we're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because he was dancing in the booth. He was like, before TikTok came out, he was like that. So it fucking matched up perfectly.
Yeah, he was a teacher too, right?
He was a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first opened Underground, he was gonna run all my music, but it just didn't make sense. And look at him now; he's
crushing, bro.
He's crushing. Shout out to him.
I'm happy for him for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, another crazy story about the nightlife. When I first kind of started doing things, I actually booked Jeremiah. I wired him the 20K up
that?
front. Jeremiah.
Oh, the artist. Yeah. Jeremiah?
Yeah, Jeremiah, whatever. I wired him 20 bands. We sent him a rider. We were like, you could bring 20 people. We'll give you 10 free bottles, like everything. He signed it, signed a performance contract, showed up with 200 people. All of them had guns. None of them wanted to get searched. And they unfortunately were not allowed in the venue and were not allowed to perform. And on the way out, he was like, bro, fuck you. You're not getting your money back. I was like, bro, keep it. Whatever, get out of here, dude.
That's... Where was this at?
It's supposed to be at Joy.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. And he was like super open about it. He's like, you ain't getting shit back. I was like, bro, go ahead, bro. 20 bands down the toilet, bro. Like, it's probably like my second or third year into promoting. I was like, thought it was gonna be great. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Growing pains, man.
Yeah, 100%. It was a lesson learned. I mean, it was a stinger for sure. Because
did you ever book another artist after that?
Waka Flocka, right?
Yeah, we did Waka. I did Travis with you. I've done like a couple things here and there, but I kind of just stay out the way now, bro. Like I'm kind of like, like if something needs to be paid for, call me. But if you need me to do like anything else, like I don't want to do it, bro, because just too much stress, bro. Especially like with like the Jeremiah thing. Like it was super cut and clean and clear. Like you could bring 20 people. We're gonna give you 10 bottles. You got your $20,000. You signed a performance contract saying that you would be there. You showed up an hour and a half late with 200 people. And expected us all to let you in through the alley. You didn't even want to come through the front door. And then these people that were in the back, they were all like, dude, we paid somebody $2,000 for a table. What do you mean you don't have a table? Well, who'd you pay? Like, he's like, oh, well, I gave it to this guy. Okay, well, where's this guy at? We don't even know who this guy is. Why are you giving him money? Because he told you guys are all 300 of you guys are all throwing down on a $2,000 table? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you gave your money to your boy. Your boy's not here. I don't know your boy. Your boy does he have any texts from us? It was just so crazy. And they all had guns. Every one of them. Yeah. It's crazy.
Mayhem. What are your favorite songs right now? What are you guys fucking with?
Dude, Cinderella off the new Future album is gas.
You like that?
Yeah. That Future album's fire.
Gas.
I just been bumping Future lately. That's
low key.
Future
That's been the
some
vibe, yeah.
Like I went to Miami and in strip club and they were playing all this old shit. I was like, oh, I remember this song, that song. So
a lot of
Future's in my car right now. In my Apple Music is Future.
Yeah, a lot of people have been playing that Bryson Tiller, whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's kind of just like it's crazy, bro. The fact that he made a song about that just gives.
Let's see. I don't even remember. Let me see what's in my Apple Music right now. Let me see.
Bro, like,
I'm weird though, man. I have like Bush, and then I have like Drake, and then Marilyn Manson, I'm like weird. I got all type of music in my.
Fucking with Marilyn, huh?
Yeah, I fuck with a lot of. I like every genre. I got country, rap, rock, metal. I got it all, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like weird. Like I have like 1 or 2 songs in different albums. I won't listen to the whole album type shit. Like,
Yeah, same. I don't download whole albums ever.
like some Kanye, some of the new Kanye shit, but I couldn't really get into the whole Kanye. How about you?
I mean, what I'm fucking with, like new music as a DJ in the club, I definitely like that Future with the Kendrick on it.
Yeah,
like
that's
that beat
gas,
a
dude.
lot.
What do you think about that? The whole Kendrick Drake.
I don't know, man. To me, I'm like anything that's going on that I consume off of the internet. Most of my news comes from my Twitter feed. I'm like, is it real? Is it like did they stage it? Like what the fuck's going on? I don't know. I don't even really read into it. But if it's real and like J. Cole put that track out and then came and apologized, that's kind of pussy shit.
No, some pussy
Like
shit.
own it, and
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like when this guy deletes his story. You know?
Nah, bro, it's totally different.
Yeah, I think that shit's all staged though. I mean, because it's all on.
think so?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all under Universal. I mean, you know, Young
They're all on
Money,
the same
Cash
label.
Money, Universal owns it, and then you got
Yeah, you can't even tell me you've never done
Interscope.
this story, bro.
Interscope.
I take pride in that,
Dude,
and I've had some bad ones.
bro, I don't
Bad.
I think that like, cause like I'll leave a lot of shit. Like if I deleted it, like it needed to be deleted. So if I deleted it, I had like 3 of my good friends DM me prior and like, bro, delete this. Yeah, so it's like that's when the shit gets deleted, bro. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I feel you. But the beef shit, that does make sense if they're all in the same label.
Yeah, Interscope's owned by Universal. Young Money, OVO, Universal. So
And
it makes sense that it would be.
I feel like we've come to learn, like, remember when Kanye was dropping his album at the same time 50 Cent was dropping his album, and then they had that little beef.
Yeah,
and then you now look at it and you're like, oh yeah, they definitely staged that for
Think about it. Everyone's talking about them. They're selling records. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Well, what do you think? Have you seen what Rick Ross did though?
yeah. You know what's crazy? He was in Chicago the same day.
But he had like the Drake sweater
Yeah,
on.
yeah, with his face and albums in the back.
Prior to that, though, why would you think he would bring up like the whole like rhinoplasty thing though? That Drake had his nose fixed. How do you think that plays into like the whole album thing? Because that seems like kind of personal, and it doesn't really seem like a type of on-brand thing to say.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the Rick Ross and Drake thing is probably like for real.
Like that one, yeah.
Yeah.
You think that's more real? And then also
I feel like not too many people would want problems with Drake right now. I just don't know why. I just feel
I mean,
like,
he's kind of the king. Like if you're trying to make waves, that's who you go at. You know? What I'm
yeah, but then you lose and you look like a fucking goofy.
No, but even 50
Could.
Cent is on board with Drake, and then I think Birdman posted Drake as well too. So it's like,
Oh god,
it's getting into like the.
it's really getting out there. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about the plastic surgery shit is, remember when the Pusha T disc came out and he was saying it's going to be a surgical summer? I think I remember listening to the Road podcast and they broke that whole beef down, and they were saying that allegedly Drake had some sort
His
of
abs
plastic
done.
surgery.
His stomach, he
Is
got
that what it
lipo.
was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it. Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's probably. I mean, they're even saying that the actual diss record might be AI.
Kendrick came out and said that it was.
Yeah,
AI.
and it would make sense. You got to think about it. Like, so first of all, Drake makes Universal all that money. Like he's like their cash cow, right? So, and he lost the last battle, and to take a chance on Kendrick and drop something and then not get the response you want to get, how do you like mitigate that? So maybe do an AI track where you don't know if he wrote it or you don't know if he did.
Kind of like.
But because if he drops something and it doesn't get the same like response he got with back to back, it'll hurt him. So the narrative is, oh, it might be AI, but now they're getting a good response for the track, right? Yeah. But he's not saying he didn't write it or not. So it's kind of like he's playing it safe type shit, you know? Because
So fucked. We don't know what's real or
we don't know what's real or not. You
And
know,
it's only getting worse.
Yeah, even Rick Ross again said it as well too, where he was talking about on Sickle Mode, who
wrote that
verse, and he's like, I mean, I didn't know. I just took it as like maybe it was Rick Ross, but then he plays it aloof, where like maybe it wasn't someone else, maybe someone that's ghostwriting for everyone.
Yeah, Drake having ghostwriters definitely been a thing.
Yeah.
That was, Pusher said that for sure.
Yeah, they all have it, man. Kanye has ghostwriters. Drake, they all have
For sure.
people writing for them. I mean, they're making so much money, and it's not even about the music anymore. It's just about their influence.
And the turnaround,
You know?
you gotta have another track or another track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, we should wrap this up. I mean, he's fucking selling Frenchies over here. Was your girl hitting you up or what?
No, I'm actually looking at buying a car right now. I was checking some comps on Facebook Marketplace, see what they're selling for.
Nice. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. This was a great pod for sure. I'm excited. We got some good clips. We'll definitely have some fire clips to post. I'm gonna make some funny shit.
Dude, this is gonna be fucking hilarious.
But it was good kicking it with you boys. You got anything to promote? Obviously Underground, and then you're doing late night Underground Friday, Saturday, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come by Underground, come
Yeah,
check
pull
it
up.
out.
Hey, actually,
Get in,
this weekend, for anybody who's gonna see this, I have some crazy plans for something I'm gonna do at Underground. It's gonna be a ball. I haven't been out in a long time, so I plan on turning that bitch upside down. And you'll probably see me embarrass myself a time or two. So you might as well come just for the show.
All right. Well, I'm off on Saturday. Maybe I'll come by.
You should. It's gonna be fucking
There you go.
sick.
And we got to get a booking soon, man. We got to lock in May or
something.
something.
Oh, you know, another thing I wanted to talk about that I meant to bring up on this podcast before it was over, because I've been asking this guy for about like 2 months. Who's the next booking at Underground? Who's the next artist?
I don't know. Maybe I'm working on Gunna right now.
Gunna would be fire.
Gunna. Bryson Tiller for sure. He just wants too much money. He wants like 50,000. His numbers are inflated, so.
Yeah, and then
Probably get
the
it
only
for
thing he's
20
gonna
though.
come in and play is
And then what else we working on? Working on Chris Brown.
no, don't do Chris Brown. He's stuck in Joy. No shots.
I think that's it, really. Nothing really going on. I mean, it's summertime, so we don't really got to do that,
Bro, you know who would be? I feel like would be pretty cool in a club that's like just a chill vibe, bro. Wiz Khalifa, bro.
That'd be dope.
Someone
Better than
book
Wiz
before.
is always dope.
Done
He's
it
got
before.
a big following, I think.
Somebody book Wiz, bro.
His DJ is the shit too. You should book a Wiz what's it called? Appearance with his DJ playing. That'd be tight.
Actually, you know what I got coming up soon? You mentioned DJ. I got Nicki Minaj's DJ next
Nice.
Thursday.
All right.
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys. I
Appreciate it.
Shout out
appreciate
DJ
it.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you next time. If you're on YouTube, like the video, drop a little comment, subscribe to the channel. Algorithm activating activity. That's what we like to see over here.
Like, comment, and share, bro. Don't be a whore.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.